Hi gents, this is Mr. Holding, and this video is part 2 of the essential testing video. So by now you should have actually gone and done part 1, which was your prep experiment that showed you what a positive test for the 3 different tests are. So what does a positive starch test look like? What does a positive glucose test look like? And what does a positive protein test look like? So now we've actually got our 4 types of food, and we're going to use those tests to determine whether they have the presence of starch, glucose or protein in each. Okay, so our 4 types of food are the biscuit, all right, and we need to grind that down into a fine powder first. Our croutons, okay, and again we've got the mortar and pestle, we're going to grind those down. Our egg white and our cordial. Now for the first 3, the biscuit, crouton and egg white, we're also going to add distilled water once we do that to make it a bit wetter to allow the test to work a bit better. Because the cordial is 90% water anyway, 95% water anyway, we don't need to do that. Okay, so I've gone ahead and ground down my my biscuits and croutons. Okay, and the reason why I've done that is I want to make it into a powder to increase the surface area. Okay, so we could just stick a big bit of biscuit in there, but we may have problems with it going on. So we do that to make it work a little bit better. Okay, before we start, I should probably point out it's important to just get yourself set up first. So as you can see, I've got all my stuff set out in front of me. I've got my instructions here to my right that remind me of what the different tests are, okay, and the sequence I need to go through. And you'll see, may not be able to see it on this one, but you'll see a table here, and I've copied my table here, and that'll allow me to quickly put in my results. The way that I'm going to do the test today, and you may choose to do it differently, but what I've decided to do is I'm going to pick one food type of each, so biscuits, croutons, egg white and cordial, and I'm going to do the starch test for all of them. And then I'm going to clean these out, and then I'm going to do biscuit, croutons, egg white and cordial, and then I'm going to go and do the glucose test. And then finally for the protein test, biscuits, croutons, egg white and cordial, and then I'm going to go through that way. Now I'm doing it systematically to make sure I don't make mistakes, so that I'm consistent, okay, so that my scientific procedure is the same each time, so I keep my results consistent and fair. So the first one I'm going to do is my biscuits, and any order doesn't matter, but I'm choosing to go biscuit, crouton, egg white, cordial because that's the way I've got them written here, and I'm going to do them in the same order across, just so I don't get mixed up. I suppose we should try as best we can to make the quantities equal. Okay, now unfortunately we don't have the equipment to do that spot on, so I'm going to use a spoon, and I'm going to try and make sure that my volumes are similar, okay, and do the best I can, but I'm sure you can probably agree it's not going to be perfect. So I've gone ahead and put my 4 samples in, so you'll notice here that I haven't put my water. Okay, so I'm going to go put a little bit of water in. Again, I'm going to try and be consistent. Okay, and you can see there that it's a bit of a watery mess. Now, what that'll allow is it'll allow the test to work a little bit better. We don't want a huge amount of water in there. Okay. It needs to be a bit more than just a slur, paste, and also I am adding it to the egg white, okay, and the reason for that, particularly I suppose, is main when we heat it, okay. As I'm sure you're aware, when you heat egg white, you get an omelette, okay. We don't want that. We actually want to do the test. So, to stop it from forming a big clumpy mess in the bottom when it gets heated, we're adding a little bit of water. So my first test is going to be my starch test, okay, and I'm supposed to add 4 drops here. 2 drops to the 4 test strips. I'm going to add 2 drops. Okay, so very quickly, carefully I should say, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Okay, so I've added a couple of drops in each, and you can probably see already that I've started to have a reaction. Okay, so you can see the dark change in colour there for the biscuit. All right, so I can go ahead and tick this positive test for starch there. Okay, you can definitely see a positive test there for the crouton. Okay, so again a tick. All right, no reaction there by the egg white. So that's a negative there, and There is, it might be hard to say, I might put in an extra drop here to make it a bit more obvious. A positive test there in the cordial. Okay, so we've done those there. So that's our starch test. So my next test is going to be my glucose test. And my glucose test involves Benedict's solution and heating. Okay, so I can go ahead and put 4 drops of Benedict's solution in each of them. Okay, so remembering that I've added some water to the first 3, okay, and then I need to obviously make sure, so going through safety procedures, I make sure that my hole is closed, I light my match, and then I turn the gas on after. Okay, and there we go. Okay, I want to turn that to the heating flame. Okay, and then I'm going to use my forceps to obviously heat them quickly. Okay, so I've got a bit of a thing there. Okay, being sure not to aim it at anyone because it may pop and flash. You just need to be careful that it doesn't overheat because it may bubble out and go everywhere, and we don't want to create a mess. I might add a little bit extra, keep it wet. Okay, so it hasn't actually done a lot of changing there, but which is a little bit surprising here because it is a sugary biscuit, so I'd expect that it has. So we'll try the next one and see how we went with that one. Okay, so we're getting that orange colour there. Okay, not as brightly as I've seen it before, but same with that one there. So we could say that there's glucose in both of those. All right, we'll add this one here. Okay, so the egg, and this is the one where we added some water to this to try and avoid it turning into an omelette in the bottom of it. So try to keep it moving, otherwise it's going to be very difficult to clean the test tube out. So I can see at the bottom here it's starting to go a purpley colour, but we know that a positive test for glucose is going to be that orangey colour. So the fact that it's turning purple indicates that it's not glucose. Okay, so rather than continuing on, I can already see there's bits of egg protein starting to form in there, and I'm starting to form a little omelette. So we'll stop there, and then finally, okay, I've got my cordial there. It's a bit blue because of the Benedict solution, and I'll heat that, and we'll see how we go. Okay, and I can see that it's starting to develop an orangey tinge. There we go. Okay, so you can see the orangey tinge there, so that's got glucose there. So we can say that these ones have an orangey tint as well. They've gone orange, so we can say that the biscuit was positive for glucose, the crouton was positive for glucose, the egg white was negative, and the cordial was positive. Okay, so my last and final test is the one for protein. The one for protein requires my sodium hydroxide solution, okay, and my copper sulfate solution. Okay, so 10 drops of copper sulfate and 5 drops of sodium hydroxide. So probably be a good idea to make sure I've got my water in there, so be sure you do that. Just a little bit. Just give a bit of a flick to mix the water through. Okay, and then I go my 10 drops of copper sulfate, as I started before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Might have gone a few too many there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I've got, and now I'm going to do my 5 of sodium hydroxide. Okay, and we should see, hopefully, a positive result in one of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, so again, we're looking for that purpley colour. So we've got a mix there. Not much going on. The bluey tinge, or the bluey-greeny tinge, is from the copper. Okay, so that's nothing going on there. No reaction for the biscuit, no reaction from the crouton. Okay, we've finally got something happening with the egg, which has gone purple. Okay, so we've got a positive test there for the egg, but nothing for the cordial. Okay, so I've gone through, nothing for the biscuit, negative for the biscuit, negative for the crouton, positive for the egg white, but negative for the crouton. Okay, so I've recorded my results over here. Okay, I'd be suggesting you do this in your book. Don't do it in the good copy. I can then go and transfer that across and go start writing my prac. Okay, so think about what you're going to do. We obviously, I think the first question is on the matter of why did we do the part 1 of the test. Okay, think about what you did. How would you know what a positive test is if we didn't do that first part? Okay, so that's probably too much of a hint already. The other questions are surrounding how you can improve this. Think about the ways we did. Earlier I talked about measuring quantities and how our spoon is the best way you can do it at the moment. Can you think of a better way? And then there's another question there as well. So I hope you found this useful, and look forward to seeing your report. So when you actually go and do this prac yourself, you need to make sure you know what you're doing, okay, in terms of planning. Set yourself up early, okay, get the equipment you need, and have clear in your head the process you're going to go through. Okay, it shouldn't take you that long to do it, okay. You should be able to knock this off over in 15 minutes while still being accurate and taking your time, but that requires you to be organised, know what you're here to do, so that you can pack up and record your results and move on and go and start your discussion points. All right, thanks.